Hello everyone, Morgan Hibbs here with Linn County Farm Bureau. I'm excited to be visiting your classroom for our December lesson for our 2020-21 virtual school year. So today we are going to do a very fun lesson. This is one of my favorite lessons. We are going to learn about cranberries. How many of you have tried a cranberry? Raise your hand. Okay, some of you might have tried cranberry sauce around Thanksgiving time. Maybe you enjoy cranberry pie around December, around the holidays. You might have tried a cranberry muffin. There are cranberries maybe in trail mix. Cranberries are a delicious snack. They are very sour. They're kind of tart when they are fresh. Most of the time we add sugar when we make a cranberry recipe. But today we are going to look at how cranberries grow. If you have not yet listened to the read aloud story called Time for Cranberries, I encourage you to pause the video and go and listen to that story. Try to point out the key concepts in the story. How did they grow the cranberries? What kind of equipment did they use to harvest the cranberries, to gather the cranberries from the marsh? So these are all important things to think about when you are reading the story. Also, there is a video called How Does It Grow Cranberries? The book is a great intro to cranberries, but the video really pulls it all together with a real-world view of how cranberries grow, and you meet a real-life cranberry farmer. Okay, we are going to review what you learned in the story and the video. So we have the cranberry life cycle here. So first we begin with a seed. In the story we saw that the seeds are planted in a cranberry farm. It's not called a farm, but it's called a marsh. And inside of the cranberry marsh there are sunken areas in sandy soil called bogs. The seeds are planted in the bogs and they take 2 years to produce cranberries. Once the seeds are planted, they can start to grow. Now you'll notice here, there's no water in this picture. This is just cranberry plants. We don't use water to grow cranberries besides to water them like we do our gardens. But when you see the cranberry commercials like Ocean Spray, oftentimes they're standing in the bogs filled with water. If you remember from our story and from the video, we use water to harvest the cranberries. But in the growing season, it's the plant, and we need just enough water, like rain, like we would if we were watering our garden. Once the plant is starting to grow and get larger, it produces these beautiful pink flowers. Once we have flowers, the flowers will begin to close after they've been pollinated, and we will find berries in their place. The berries begin to grow and ripen. We can find red berries, but there's also sometimes white cranberries. That is the time when we flood the bogs. The cranberries are underneath the water, so we use water from rivers and we flood the bogs. We don't grow a lot of cranberries here in the Midwest. The closest state that has cranberry bogs, it would be Wisconsin, because they have a lot of fresh water sources to help use to harvest. And then we also grow a lot of cranberries in northeastern United States. Once the bogs are flooded, then we use this machine called, it's a corralling machine, and we use this yellow, kind of like a big rope, called a boom, and the boom starts to push the cranberries towards the center near a pump. It's like a suction pump, kind of like a vacuum. And we have the farmers in here with giant waders on so that they don't get their pants wet, because the water, it's like a boot and a pant combination, so the water won't get into their shoes and their pants. and then they push the cranberries to the center of the suction pump. The boom starts to pull it all in, and then it goes up into the suction pump, up into the truck. Sometimes farmers will use different tools like a rake to help kind of pull and guide those cranberries to the center. You'll also notice there's a spray here. So this farmer is using water to clean the cranberries as the cranberries are going into the truck. But we can also wash them while they are in the truck, called, and you saw this in the book, the cleaning truck. So we have spray bars that are washing the cranberries as they travel through. And once the cranberries are harvested, they will go to a factory where they will be made into delicious treats. So you can enjoy cranberry juice, which is really good for your heart. You can enjoy craisins, which are dried cranberries similar to raisins. We can use fresh cranberries to make cranberry sauce, cranberry pie, cranberry muffins. And you can also find frozen cranberries at your grocery store. Okay, so now there's a fun science experiment, and this might have given it away in our pictures and in the video and the book, but I want to see if you remember. So do cranberries sink or float? You have this experiment here, and as a teacher you can do this experiment, or you can brainstorm just by looking at the pictures, or you can go buy some fresh cranberries to actually try the science experiment. But do you think cranberries sink or float? Based off of the pictures we just looked at, how they harvest them, and then what do you think cranberries look like on the inside? You can draw a picture of that here. Over on this side, you can use your nail to split the cranberry in half, or if the teacher wants to help you with this, what do cranberries actually look like? And if you don't have cranberries in your classroom, fresh cranberries, because the craisins, it's not going to look quite the same, you can use the book and the video to review what they actually looked like, okay? And that will help to kind of explain why we use water to harvest, because the cranberries will do something, and then the harvest equipment, like the boom, can help push those cranberries up that suction pump. Okay, so now we have the cranberry life cycle. So you have this in your kit or available online, and it goes through and just talks about the different seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. So I'll just highlight a few key points. In winter, the bogs are flooded with water. So we use water actually twice. We use water in the winter time to help protect the plants. Then we also use water to harvest. Spring. In the spring, the ice melts and the sand falls to the ground. The water goes back to the rivers and reservoirs. Summer. Cranberry plants need water, sun, and space to grow. They need up to 1 inch of water each week during the growing season. Bees are brought in by the farmer to help pollinate the flowers. Fall. The cranberry bogs are flooded with water, so this is the second time they are flooded. Cranberries have air pockets, so it helps them float to the top, and the berries then can be harvested. You have a sheet to go with this, where you can cut out the different pictures and put them in the correct sequence. And then you also have the parts of a cranberry plant with the wood banks. So you have roots, you have bud, bee, flower, berry, leaves, and vine. So you can go ahead and fill out the parts of the cranberry plant. And for a fun taste test, there are some craisins included in your kit that you can pass out, and you can try a dried cranberry. Also included in your kit or available online is a recipe for cranberry sauce, and you can send this recipe home with your family. Thank you everyone for watching, and I look forward to chatting with you in January.